and co-host Steve Brand because it keeps me informed about the industry and the drivers that keep our country moving forward. Don't forget, Thursday, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Be there.
Hi, this is Scott Post, and I love Truckers' Voices because there's always something entertaining and educational for our industry. And it's also hosted by two of my good friends, Tim Taylor and Steve Brand. Tune in tonight. And in the meantime, be safe out there.
Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? My name's Charlie Demchuk, and I'm here to welcome you to tonight's big show. Y'all sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Tim and Steve got a good one in store for you. So have a good night. We'll see you.
Hi, this is Tony Wainwright. I hope you enjoy listening to Truckers' Voices as much as I do. Now, without any further ado, kick back, kick your shoes off, air your corns out, and get ready to listen to another fine show.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's doing fine on this fine Thursday night. I hope you had a great day of trucking there, as we always say. And, I often think about that. What is a good day of trucking? And a good day of trucking is whenever you can deliver your loads, service the customer, and get it there to them safely and get back home to your destination and walk back through that door every night. That is a good day of trucking. So I don't want anybody to ever have a bad day of trucking, okay? But anyway, we got a good show lined up for you tonight. We got Mr. Tim Chelette on here, and he drives for Big G Express. Tim's going to come on, and he's going to tell us about his story, about how he got into trucking. We'll ask him about some of the tractors and stuff that he's driven over his lifetime of trucking. And then he's got some accolades we're going to talk about. And there's a whole lot of stuff that we're going to get into and talk about tonight. But I tell you what, we do have a good show lined up for you tonight. And we got some good shows lined up coming up in the near future there. So y'all really want to stay tuned in with Truckers' Voices. You know, we got a Truckers' Voices group, and we also have a Truckers' Voices TV page. So there's two different things there. We got a group and a page. So, if you go and search on Facebook, Truckers' Voices, you'll probably come up with both of them. But we monitor both of them. And I would encourage y'all to go to that Truckers' Voices group and post on there anything you want to. And, because, it's our page. It's not my page. It's not Steve's page, but it's our page. And this ain't my program. It's your program. We come to you every Thursday night because we want to hear the stories of how people got into trucking. And I would say if you got a story and you want to tell it, hey, this is the place to tell it right here on Truckers' Voices. And we'd be glad to bring you on. Just reach out to me or Steve, get in touch with us somehow. We'd love to have you on the show one night. But anyway, without any more said, I guess I need to bring my co-host on in here. So let me bring old Steve back in here on the his theme music. They keep him rolling, and he's rolling and riding dirty. What do you say there, Steve-O?
Can't say it, Tim. I'll get in trouble. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Oh, let me turn it off. It started up again. How you ride today, man? Are you riding dirty or you riding clean?
I don't know. Truck semi-clean, I guess. And got my windows clean, though.
Hey, I hear you. I got mine cleaned right before I got to the yard today, man. It come a good rain, and I got to clean them off real good from some of these South Georgia bugs that we get on the windows down here. Windows down here, not windows. Windows.
Winders.
The winders.
Winders. That's one of them words I say quite often. It's where I'm from. It's where I'm from. But,
fire and tar and clean and washed and yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's one of them deals. But no, it's been a good week of trucking. Traffic's been a little heavy. Like I said, more and more schools are going back to school, so people's trying to get those last minute vacations out. Of course, you got the holiday coming up next week.
Right.
probably next Thursday, they'll start hitting the road.
Yep.
And you got Friday. So happy.
So, Steve, there's a big event going on somewhere, and I guess we ought to acknowledge that over in Indianapolis, man. What's going on over there?
Man, I tell you what, they got the National Truck Driving Championships going on. I've been kind of watching it, kind of monitoring it, checking everything out. Yesterday, the guys went in and gals, and I guess there's over 400 drivers, 422, I think I've seen.
Wow, that's like
they went in, checked all the trucks out, walked the course. I haven't seen a layout of the course yet, but I was watching a little bit a while ago when I got home. Looks like they have a pretty good time up there.
I heard it's a pretty tight course. That's what I've heard from a couple of different people there. So anyway, if anybody's out there listening to us that's in Indianapolis, if you want to call in sometime tonight, give us a call on the Truckers Voices line, and we'll put you on. You can give us a full report on what's going on. But we do that toward the end of the show, toward the bottom of the hour there, right?
Yes, sir.
So what you know about Mr. Tim Chelette there, Mr. Brand?
I know he's a quiet and shy guy.
Yeah, don't talk. That's right.
Friends with him on Facebook. He doesn't say a whole lot. He's
that's about like you. You don't say much.
No, I don't have much to say. But when I do say it, it really don't make any sense. So no big deal. But Tim's a fellow professional driver, fellow road team captain, and
right.
I got to find out about this Alaskan cruise he just come off of. Man, I'm telling you.
I know.
I'm glad we got him on tonight. Ready and excited to hear his story.
Absolutely. So why don't we just bring him on in here on the Rocky theme like we always do, and we'll just get right into it.
Sounds good to me.
All right. All right, Mr. Tim Chelette, everybody.
Guys, how are y'all doing tonight?
We're doing good, Tim. We like bringing everybody in on the Rocky thing because, we think that every truck driver out there is a champion in his or her own right.
I'll tell you what, it made me feel pretty special there.
Yes, sir. Yes, you are. You definitely are special there. So, what you up to? Where are you at tonight, Tim?
I am just outside of Nashville, Tennessee here, about 30 minutes out from where I'm going to make my delivery after this show is over with, and call it a night.
Well, man, we sure appreciate you stopping and talking to us tonight and, taking time out for us on Truckers Voice. I've been wanting to get you on there a while, and I figured I'd just reach out to you a couple of weeks ago. But, man, I'm so glad that you took time to come on.
Hey, I appreciate y'all having me. I tell you what, it's a privilege. The job that y'all do of recognizing drivers and the different topics that y'all have on y'all show has just been absolutely great.
Wow, well, we appreciate that. Yeah, we try to get variety of neither, but the main thing is to hear the story of the truckers and how they got into it and some of the tractors they driven and some of the personal accomplishments. That's another thing that we like to hear about also. But anyway, Steve, you got anything before we let him get into a story there?
No, I was kind of admiring his big condominium back there behind him. I'm sure you got it all laid out with a refrigerator, microwave, and all that happy stuff. So
I do. It's pretty nice. It's they take care of me here. It's a very nice truck they let me drive around in.
I tell you what, you guys got some good looking equipment going up and down the road there. It's real nice.
Yeah, I really like it. Yeah.
You get to see it, don't you, Steve? Because it passes you, doesn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
You always see it on your left side, don't you?
See, that's what I was getting ready to say. I see it from both sides. Usually when I pass the rest area, they're in there taking their break, and then they come out and they show me what the right side looks like. So, it's all good. It's all good.
Oh, goodness. Well, Tim, just go ahead and get right on into your story there. Tell us who you are. Tell us where you're from, and we're going to just listen, and then we'll come right back with you.
Again, Tim Chelette here. I'm originally from Louisiana. I don't know if you could tell that in my voice or not. I got a little bit of that Cajun accent there,
Yep.
I've been in Tennessee for quite some times now. I live in Tennessee with my wife, Teresa. And I started out in the distribution center. I was over the inventory department and the unloading department. Done that for 10 years. And I started talking to drivers, and they just started telling me about different things that they do in the trucking industry. And, I'm like, it's kind of tweaked me a little bit, and I sounded pretty interesting, and just got a while. I went from an office job to driving a semi truck. Now I got my office as I look out the front window here, and I traded that in, and I tell you what, I absolutely love it. I never thought in a million years that I would ever go down the road driving a semi truck, because I used to look up at the other truck drivers passing by me, and I'm like, I wonder where they're going today. And now I'm the guy that's behind the wheel, and I'm wondering if somebody's coming up beside me saying the same thing,
Exactly.
Right. Right.
I've been driving since 2002. I got 2.6 million miles accident free. As you said earlier, I drive for Big G Express. Here in the next month and a half, I should be hitting 2 million miles with them accident free if I can keep it safe, which I should.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Absolutely. So Tim, you said that you was working in an office job before you got into trucking, sitting behind a desk, right?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So one day, just tell me what clicked in your brain. What made you say, well, you know what, I just don't want to sit behind the desk no more. What happened?
I just felt like I was at a dead end where I was at in my career in that position. And so I just started talking to drivers, and they're like, man, it's like, as you always heard in the trucking industry, it's kind of like you could be your own boss out here on the road and stuff. And, and I've been to, all 48 inland states now, multiple times. And I've done it on somebody else's dime. If I wanted to take my 34 hours off in California or in Washington State or wherever I wanted to do that, I was able to do it, And so I've enjoyed seeing the United States by driving a semi truck, other than just watching it through the front windshield.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Steve.
Exactly. That's exactly what I tell the kids when I go on events, do the share the road and everything. Of course, we talk about the industry and talk about everything they can do in the industry. It's not just a driver's position. They can be technicians. They can be dispatchers, terminal managers, loaders, unloaders. But I always tell them, I said, if you decide to drive a truck, I said, when you get your 34 off, I said, get out of that truck. And I said, nowadays they got Ubers, they got Lyfts. You can go somewhere. I said, get out of that truck and sightsee. See what this beautiful country's got to offer. Man, it's awesome.
Absolutely. You're absolutely.
It's awesome.
You're correct on that.
And you can test to this fact, Chelette, when we go on events and stuff, we don't just sit in the hotel. Man, go find out what that city and that town's about that you're in.
Right.
Every town's got a story. No matter how big or how small, every town has got a story.
So I just came from Indianapolis just recently, and you go through some of these country towns and stuff, and you see these squares, and now you got the circles, and I never had no idea that the middle of Indianapolis is one big circle.
Right.
And all the buildings circle around that circle, and it's just beautiful, amazing to see.
It is. It definitely is. Now, you was telling us earlier, you said you used to run all 48, but now you're kind of like on a dedicated run then.
Right. Yeah, I just go from Murfreesboro, Tennessee to Louisville, Kentucky, back and forth, Monday through Friday now. Talking about my career, me starting out in 2002, I've been driving now for 22 years. And I never thought once I started, I didn't know anything about being a professional driver, or I didn't know anything about the industry and stuff. And as you get into it and you learn the industry, I always tell new drivers that you're not going to understand the industry, at least for the first year. You're going to just start learning the industry good in the first year. And, you have to give yourself time to understand it, to find a great company that you feel comfortable working with,
Right.
And, get out there and just make the best out of it.
Right. So Tim, you mentioned earlier about when you left from working behind a desk, getting into a truck. Tell us a little bit about that transition. How did you go about getting your CDL? Did you go to a school, or did Big G put you through it, or what?
No, I went through a school. It was a 16-day school. And I'm going to tell you, I had so much stuff crammed down me those 16 days. It was unbelievable. You're taking all these tests. You're going to the DMV, taking all these tests. And I'm like, what did I get myself into? I ended up, it was 22 people in the class. I finished third in the class. So I was pretty proud about that. And, and then it's grown from there. I tell people all the time, when I get tired of being on vacation, I quit my job.
Yeah, then you can go to work when you quit your job, right?
That's right.
Well, with that being said, 16 days, do you think that was enough time? Because I went to school in 1988 and got out in January 89, and it took 8 weeks.
We lost him.
Uh-oh.
Can you still hear us, Tim? That's all right. Let's just go ahead and finish your thought there, Steve. Tell us a little bit about your schooling.
Well, I went through it in 8 weeks, and like the first week was basically the book work. Then the second week is you went out, you had a shifting course. They showed you how to pre-trip a truck, showed you what all to look for, kind of give you all that instructions and everything. And it just progressed up from there. Then you had, like I said, the shifting course, backing course. Then you went out on the road. You went out at night when the traffic was a lot less, naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And then you did that for, what was it, 2 weeks, I think it was. And then the last 2 weeks you spent on days. And then you had your actual road test to take there at the last part of it. And I was like Tim. I graduated in the top 3. They would never tell us who was 1, who was 2, and who was 3. They just said, you 3 guys are top of the class.
Right.
So, but like him going through 16 days, I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Right.
But I'm thinking it's more on the line of what I hear. They don't teach you how to drive a truck anymore. They teach you how to pass the test.
They teach to the test, right?
Yeah, they teach you how to pass the test, get your license, and you'll figure it out once you get out there. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that. You need to teach these folks what's going on from A to Z. We got you back.
I am back.
All right. You must have lost your connection there. But, we was just talking about – we kind of carried on with talking about school and how long it takes some people to get out and all that. And, I think that this day and time, especially with them flirting around with the 18, year olds, there's going to have to be some more time put into it, especially if they let 18-year-olds go, interstate.
Right. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Mm-hmm. The 16 days I had, it was so much crammed into me till it was no way that some people were just not going to grasp that much. It was just so much information that was put down us at one time instead of just 20 days or 25 days even, you know what I mean? Now, I got very lucky. When I got out of my school and went with a trainer with a company, I had a really good trainer. And, I'd heard some stories about different trainers, and the guy that I had, he absolutely was great. He took the time with me. He told me to, first thing he told me, he said, everything you just learned at school, forget about, which you don't do that. But he really took the time and showed me the trucking industry. And I really took notes of what he showed me and learned everything I could from him.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, that's.
And I tell people all the time, it starts out with a great trainer, and to be a great trainer, you're gonna have to love what you do.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know if you caught me when I said when I went to school, I went for 8 weeks. Took 8 weeks. They broke it down in increments of, like, the first week was basically all your basic book work. Of course, back then we didn't have to pass a CDL. You had a chauffeur's license, you know, and I don't know about, where y'all are from, but in the state of Missouri at 15, you went and passed the operator's test. You got your permit. You could drive with an operator, a licensed operator over the age of 18 for a year. And then as soon as I turned 18, I just went down and took another test for the chauffeur. Yeah, I was trying to think of it the other day. It was like, I don't know, 20, 30 questions for the operator, and then it might have been like 10 additional questions. So, for the chauffeur's license. But and then, like I said, I went to school, and it was 8 weeks. And, they started in the very beginning, took you out on the shifting course, showed you about pre-tripping a truck, what to look for, explained everything to you. And it was funny because, you got these professional drivers that are showing you this, and they pop the hood on it and they say, okay, here's a hood latch. This is the hood. That's the fan. And they said, we know this is crazy, but this is what we got to tell you, because we've had people come through here. They have no idea. They don't even know what the motor looks like in their car. We got to start from the ground floor and work you up.
Right. Well, when I went through my school and stuff, you're talking about all these different things. They showed you it was 108 things we had to know on our pre-trip when we took our state tests.
Oh, wow.
So, Tim, are you a part of Tennessee's road team also?
I am. Yeah, I'm still pretty much active with them. I still do a lot of different things with them. Sure do.
Man, let me commend you on that. I've been following Tennessee road team, and y'all are some busy people there with that road team. So let me applaud you on that, and applaud you for getting into the schools and doing the different events like that, because that is absolutely awesome.
The last 8 years has just been wonderful for me in the trucking industry. The things that I've accomplished in the last 8 years of my trucking career has just been great. The accomplishments I have done, the achievements have come my way. I've, started out winning driver of the year for the state of Tennessee, and then I went into being on the Tennessee road team captain. Right after I'd done those, a couple of years with the road team in Tennessee, which I still do road team stuff as well, I went into the ATA, being America's road team. Each and every time you make these different goals that you set for yourself, it's just unbelievable the things you learn and the things you get to see. And you think you love the industry before. I love driving a truck, but I also love the industry that it brings as well, So when you hit these different goals that you set for yourself, then Pilot has a Road Warrior contest. I won that, so, and then it just kept going and going. DMC Insurance, I was a finalist for them twice as being their driver of the year, and now national driver of the year for the, for the state, for the United States now, TCA driver of the year is just unbelievable. It just seemed like it just keeps falling in my laps, and it's because of the things that I've accomplished as a driver, and so I'm being recognized, and I appreciate everything that I've done in the trucking industry where I can be recognized for what I love doing.
What is that Pilot Road Warrior? I've heard of it, but I don't know nothing about it.
It's where somebody can write a story about you, which Big G wrote a story about what I've done in the trucking industry. I do a lot of stuff in my community as well. I've rode a motorcycle pretty much all my life. I did a St. Jude ride through Big G Express for 6 years, raising $88,000 for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And so they wrote a story about all the things that I've done in the trucking industry and out of the trucking industry. And it was about 7,500 people wrote stories, and they narrowed it down to 3 people. And it was me, and one of the other guys was Bill McAmee, another America's road team captain. and we both made the team at the same time, and so we had a lot of fun with it. And so I won that, which that brought $10,000, which that was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with some of that money that you won, is that something that you turned around and donated to a charity or something?
I did donate some, but it paid for my motorcycle. It paid my motorcycle off that I get to do those charity rides with.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Gonna kind of move forward here a little bit. Health and wellness. You know, they're real big on our health and wellness. We got to take a DOT physical. It's every 2 years unless you've got blood pressure or sugar or something like that. Then it's every year. And I know you went through a weight loss program and have lost a lot of weight and everything else. Can you kind of talk about your health and wellness? Being out on the road, it's real hard to be on the road and try to eat healthy.
It is. It's absolutely. It's gotten a little bit better now at some of the fuel stops that we stop at. You know, they are starting to put better salads there. Subway's got the protein bowls that you could get. 2 years ago, I went through a gastric bypass surgery. I had a doctor gave me the tool to lose the weight. Now, granted, he gave me the tool to lose the weight, but I had to do the work to lose the weight. You know, I get out every day. So far, I've walked 4 miles today. Most days I walk anywhere from 4 to 6 miles every day. And so I get out, I walk, I watch what I eat. When I told that doctor before I had my surgery, I said, if you give me the tool to lose my weight, I'm going to do the work. And so far in 2 years, I've lost 131 pounds. And I tell you what, I feel like a whole different person. I tell people all the time, I can tell you how great I feel, but until you go through what I went through, you'll never understand it, because I tell you what, it has changed my outlook. I've always been a positive person. I've always tried to look at things as a positive side of things, but it's even cleared my mind even more. And like I tell people on some of these videos that Steve looks at, you know, if you could get out and start your walks first thing in the morning before you start your day of driving, it just seemed like it just makes things so much easier when you sit behind the wheel. Your mind's clear, you're ready to go, you want to put some miles behind you, you're excited about your day. It's unbelievable how you feel after doing all that.
So, Tim, with that said, I do want to share your Facebook page on the screen here. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
And the reason I wanted to do that is because of this right here. You just mentioned it.
Everybody, this is Tim Chelette, August 20th. Man, can you believe it's August already? It's time to start putting the Christmas tree up, it seems like. My goodness. Hey, what a beautiful morning. Look at there. Look at there. Boy, that's a nice sunshine this morning. Man, it is feeling great out here. Hope y'all gonna get out. You know what we're going to do. We're going to get out and get our steps on. Drink a protein shake and just enjoy our morning before we get our day started. You know, ain't nothing like getting up, getting some kind of cardio in. You know, hey, Rosalinda from Phoenix, Arizona area. Hey, I threw a great shout out. Put me on a TikTok video yesterday. Man, I feel famous now, man. She got, man, I tell you what, she is popular. That girl knows everybody, I think. Hey, appreciate the shout out. Keep on walking. Keep on getting your steps down over in Phoenix and drinking them shakes. Hope y'all having a wonderful day. Hey, if y'all could do one thing today, let's put your cell phones down. Most of the states now are becoming hands-free. That don't mean having it up to your mouth like that and all that. That means don't touch it. Have it connected to your phone, up to your car. Most of the cars now, you can connect your phones to it. Number one cause of accidents is distracted driving. Remember, as they say in the theme, that text can wait. So, hey, y'all have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there, and I'll see y'all another day.
Right. So, you're so positive, and that's what I like, Tim. I like being around positive people. So I appreciate you doing that, and I keep doing. I used to do and I haven't done it in a while. I used to do a daily, safety video before I left out on my run. But I like that, man. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I used to love watching your videos that you used to put out about the safety tips and stuff.
Yeah. I kind of got slack on it. Kind of got burned out on it there for a little bit, but I'll be back doing it. Sometime.
Good deal. It's very educational, for somebody, like you say, even somebody that does it every day. How many times have you sit at a truck stop and you get up and start your day and they just get behind the wheel and take off and not do a proper pre-trip? You see
Right.
it all the time, and it's so important. You can walk around that truck the night before, and I've done it. You do your post-trip at nighttime, everything's fine. The next morning you walk around, I'm like, what do you mean? My tire's flat. I just checked it last night. Anything can happen. So pre-trip, post-trip, man, make sure you get out there and doing that.
Absolutely. Well, Tim, tell us a little bit about outside of the job. Tell us a little bit about your family and some of the stuff that you've done here lately and some of the places you've seen.
I just went to Alaska. Me and my wife been planning this trip for a year. Went with my niece and her husband and my nephew and his wife. And I tell you what, if anybody can take a trip on that cruise, it's just unbelievable. The 3 stops that we did in Alaska was just phenomenal. The food was great. The Alaskan crab was just absolutely great. And, we stopped off in Victoria, Canada on the way back. And the weather was like 50 to 60 degrees the whole time. It was calling for 100% chance of rain every day. We didn't get any rain, no rain at all. So it was just a great week that was there. Was gone 7 nights, and it was just unbelievable. I got a beautiful wife. Her name's Teresa. We've been married 12 years now. We got 6 grandchildren, and I got 2 in Ohio. Got 2 there in Murfreesboro area and 2 in Louisiana. I'll tell you what, I love spending time with each and every one of them as much as I can. The kids just come natural, but the grandkids is even special. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So you know what? I want to go back to something that you said earlier. So are you originally from Louisiana?
Yes, I am. I left when I was 19 years old, Louisiana. And so I had a sister that moved to Smyrna, Tennessee. And, I'm the baby of 8. So we're a close family. We love being around each of us likes being around each other. And we grew up really great family values. Our mother and father taught us that. And she said, you don't have anything to do in Louisiana. Why don't you move up to Tennessee? That way I can have some family here. And I moved up, and they hadn't got rid of me since. So
something's starting to make sense to me now. You got a little Cajun in you?
Oh, absolutely. I still got to go down there and get educated upon my talking, talk like them people down in Louisiana.
Yeah. Now it's making sense to me. I knew I was picking up on a little bit of accent there. So absolutely. Well,
I'm having people come over. I love to cook for people. I got people coming over this weekend. My wife tells me, she says, I don't understand. She said, you drive all week? I've had up to 63 people at my house cooking for them. I got about 10 people coming this weekend. I'm going to cook them a good Cajun meal, and I know they'll enjoy it.
You going to cook them boudin?
No, I don't have any boudin right now. I'm out of that, but I'm going to cook them up a nice beef tips with some gravy and some pinto beans and different things to that nature. Rice and gravy. That's the key Louisiana dish right there.
So,
Right.
so for the listening audience, tell the listening audience what boudin is.
Boudin is it's in a casing. It's kind of like a sausage link. It's got rice in it. It's got some onion tops. Some of it's got liver in it. We don't tell people it's got liver in it, but it does have some liver in it. It's got a little bit ground beef in it as well. Now they have boudin balls. It's been deep fried, and some of it's got pepper jack cheese in it. And we grew up you go to the little country store and they give you a slice of bread and they give you a link of that boudin, you wrap it up, and that was your breakfast or your meal for lunch, or whenever time you showed up, they had it there to eat. And matter of fact, to this day, you can still do that.
And I bet they wrapped it up in that old brown paper that they used to put meat in, didn't they?
Well, now they do it in a little piece of aluminum foil. Now they kind of changed it up a little bit, but
Yeah, that old you remember that wax paper?
I know
right?
I sure do. Yes, I do.
Oh goodness gracious! Steve, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to go back to your protein shake.
Yes,
I do the Fairlife protein shakes,
right.
and I really like how they taste. They got the ones that taste like Fruit Loops, and it's got like 30 grams of protein in it, But the one that you held,
Sorry, hold on, Steve. Sorry, that's pretty fitting right there.
What's that? Fruit Loops? Fruit Loop? Yeah, Fruit Loop drink for a Fruit Loop. But I tried that Premier, and I thought I seen it at Sam's Club, and it said cookie dough, and I'm like, hey, it's we'll see. I know these protein drinks they got a little flavoring in them, but so I took a big old swallow of that one, and it tasted like cookie dough in the beginning, but the aftertaste tastes like a burnt cookie dough to me, and I'm like, oh, this is terrible. Oh, I got to find something different.
Yeah. The one I like the most is the caramel. I guess that's what I started out with, and I like them. The caramel is really good. They got one that's called the cinnamon roll. That's really great. I really like that one. And then you can't go wrong by having the vanilla as well. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Now they got a coffee one, the coffee latte or something like that. I'm not a big fan of that one. So.
Yeah. I just thought it was funny, that cookie dough. My daughter grabbed one out of the fridge when she was up here. She lives down in Madisonville, Tennessee, and over there in East Tennessee, and she just swallowed that down. And I said, "Is that got an awful aftertaste?" She goes, "No, it tastes fine." I said, "It must be me, because it tastes like cookie dough going down. It tastes like burnt cookie dough coming up." Oh.
Yeah, it all depends, I guess, what you like. I've tried some other ones, and I didn't care for them either. And other people was talking about how great they were and stuff. But man, the Fruit Loop, I'm gonna have to try that. Where do you find that at?
I get it at Sam's Club. It's
really.
It's I get it at Sam's Club, and it's a Fruit Loop, and it's pretty good. It's not bad at all. And I try to get one of them down in the day, and I've lost I don't know, 50, 60 pounds over the last year. Just
That's great.
I mean, I could exercise a whole lot more, but you know how it goes.
Hey, as they say in that video, get out and get you some steps in there. Even if you start out with a half a block, next thing you know, you're going to be walking a mile.
Exactly. Yeah. I used to know how many, speaking of, health and wellness, like if you hit a rest area or something and you don't want to get out and walk around too far, there used to be so many trips around your truck was equal to a mile. And I can't remember, it was 30 something. Does that sound right? 30?
Yeah. I don't remember. I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, I think it is 30. It equals up to a mile, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something like that, 30 trips around your truck. And, I used to do that quite a bit. I'd just walk around my truck, get a nice little pace going. You'd be surprised some of the stuff you see on your truck that you missed in your pre-trip.
Even, and you're exactly right. When I get fuel, like today, I stopped and got fuel. And, I put my bungee straps on my hand, on the hoses and stuff, and I get to walking. I walk 5 laps around my truck. And as I'm walking around my truck, I'm slapping my tire, looking at my airlines and different things. And you could get about 525 steps walking just those laps going around as I'm getting fuel.
Right.
So a lot of people just stand right there at their hoses and don't worry about doing anything like that. But anytime I'm parked, I'm trying to get my steps in. So
there is a new next time they have the Olympics, there's a new competition. It's going to be they're going to combine the break dancing with the pre-trip, and you can kind of get in there and spin around and look around under the truck. I seen a video the other day with somebody doing that. They said this is how I do my video on my pre-trip there, so I thought that was pretty funny. But
I wonder if anybody at Nationals did that in their pre-trip.
Yeah, that'd be all right. Do the bunny hop and then start spinning on your head, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, and we talking about exercise and different things. You know, I'm getting ready to do a thing. It's called Walk for Water. It's where as many people they could get out and walking. It raises where they could get money to buy cases of water, and they give it to different places that they need it, where the water is contaminated and stuff.
Right.
The first year that I participated in it, I only volunteered to hand out water for the people who was actually doing the walk. And then last year I done 4 miles with the walk. You know, last year I did a 5K. It was my first time I ever done a 5K, and this year I done a 10K. And when I started that 10K, it was a misty rain. It was just a dreary day. The wind was blowing real strong, and I could have turned around and went back home. But you know what? I paid like $50 to do this walk and run. And I said, you know what? I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. And a lady stood up there and said, you know, you could have very well stayed home today, but you chose to be out here today to prove a point, not to anybody else, but to yourself. And that's exactly what I did. When I was out there with all them other people, it wasn't me against all them other people. It was against me, against myself to finish that race. And that's exactly what I was able to do. That 10K was unbelievable. It was. I can't believe you pay that kind of money to do something, and then you get the enjoyment at the end of knowing you just completed that. It's unbelievable.
Go ahead, Steve.
I was just going to kind of go off topic here. Do you compete in the truck driving championships or anything?
I have. I have done it 3 different times. I was going to do it this year for the Tennessee competition, and we always have it at the last weekend of April. And so I had a daughter coming up with some of her friends from Louisiana. I got twin daughters that live in Louisiana, and a daughter that lives here as well, here in Nashville area. And so we planned for them to come the weekend after. First weekend of May, they was going to the Morgan Wallace concert. I actually thought I thought she was coming to see me until I found out they was coming to see Morgan Wallace. But I was just a free room and board, right?
There you go.
But anyway, it was great to see her and some of her friends come up. And so you know, you make the best out of it when you do stuff like that, you know. So it was great to be a part of that.
Yeah, I want to tell our listening audience that I just opened up the phone line. If you want to call in and talk to Tim or talk to anybody, we appreciate it if you'll just call that number right down there, 251-616-2151. And we'll be glad to entertain your question. If you just want to, if you got a question, or if you just want to say hey to Tim or say hey to me or Steve, hey, we'll try to answer the phone there.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
yep.
When you're not in the truck, then you like entertaining, cooking. You still ride your motorcycle a lot?
I sold my motorcycle at the first part of the year. I guess February I sold the motorcycle, and March I went out. I grew up hunting and fishing from Louisiana,
we got a phone call coming. Let's take this call. Hey, welcome to Truckers Voices. Who do we have on the line here?
Hey, this is Sam Johnson. How you doing?
Hey, Sam, it's good to hear you there. Sam is a guest from our show for like 2 weeks ago. How you trucking today, brother?
I just parked out for the night.
I got you. What you want to say, Sam?
I just wanted to call in and say hi. I didn't have nothing in particular. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing awesome. Say hello to Tim Chelette. He's a Big D driver. He's our guest tonight.
Hey, Tim, I've been listening in at you a little bit.
Well, great. How many years have you been driving?
8.
8 years. That's great.
I'm still a rookie in your eyes.
I'm going to tell you, before you know it, though, you'll be talking about how you've been driving for 22 or 30 years.
Right.
One day.
So Sam, where's your travels take you to tonight?
I'm parked out in Woodstock, Virginia. Just came out of New Hampshire this morning. I'm on my way home to Tennessee.
Oh,
Wow.
go ahead, Steve.
I just saying, wow. I'm used to running that little 270 miles out, 270 mile back, and he just left New Hampshire this morning. It kind of brings back some memories.
I'm going to tell you what, New Hampshire, Vermont, man, that's some beautiful countrysides up there. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I do have a question for both of you, Sam and Tim. Truck parking. How hard is it for you guys to find truck parking?
Go ahead, Sam.
Well,
I'll let you answer that first.
Well, in my short experience, I've seen that truck stops are getting very overcrowded, and kind of have to get creative and try to find parking where parking doesn't really exist. You have to make your own spot, find a vacant lot, just scrounge around and see who allows overnight parking besides the truck stops.
Right.
Yeah. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Tim.
Well, I stopped about 6:40 to get connected with y'all. I'm here in a truck stop just outside of Nashville. And I'm parked, don't tell nobody, but I'm parked in a no parking zone until we get out of here and where I can get out. But there was no parking.
We
At
won't tell
6:40
nobody.
in the afternoon. Yeah, 6:40 in the afternoon, it was no parking. So anytime you get around some of the bigger cities like this, you're going to have to get there about 3 o'clock in the afternoon if you're going to get any kind of parking. If not, you're going to have to park a lot further out, at least a good hour and a half out before you get to some of the bigger cities like Nashville, even Atlanta, Dallas, places like that. The thing about it with what I do back and forth to Louisville, I know a lot of the nook and crannies of places that people don't know where to park at. And
Right.
so I don't park at the truck stops. I'll park at Dollar Generals that might have some truck parking that you can actually get trucks in. I park at just different other places that I have. I can't tell all my secrets where I park.
There you go.
But you do find them. You do find them. And as a truck driver, you do learn to where you can park, because you know as well as I do, you know where everything is at pretty much at all the exits, especially when you're running each and every day,
Right. Exactly. Well, Sam, I'm so glad that you called in tonight. We're going to clear the line and let some other calls get in here. But Sam, you stay safe, man, and thank you for calling Truckers Voices.
Hey, y'all have a good one. I appreciate you having me back on. And Mr. Tim, thank you for what you do. And I guess for both Tims, I should say, and Steve.
Well, we thank you
and
for what you
we'll
do.
talk at you another night.
All right, brother. You truck safe,
All
man.
right,
Get a good trip.
All right. Stay safe, man.
You too.
All right. Well,
We're trying to confuse the listeners, Tim and Tim.
that's
And
right.
Steve.
Exactly.
Oh,
That's
goodness.
Brother Tim, brother Tim.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. Well, we've got a phone line open. If anybody wants to call, it's 251-616-2151. We'd like to hear from you. If you want to talk to Mr. Chelette there, if you want to call in. So Tim, I see you got your light on in your truck there. Give us a little tour around your truck, if you don't mind.
All right. Well, I tell people all the time, I got a 2-bedroom. So here's my living room. You look out the front window.
Yeah.
Right.
The seat right here on the passenger side, it'll swivel around. And then let's go around to the back. All right. You got a table that swings around. So now you got a table, and when your chair turns around, then you have a table that you can sit and eat at. So then you got your TV. You got your microwave we talked about. Got your little refrigerator. Look, protein shakes all in there.
There you go.
You got your bed. You got another bed here at the top. And so it's great. The amount of room. I'm 6'1", and my arm is stretched out all the way to the top to touch my ceiling up there. So it's absolutely great at the amount of room they have in these trucks. I drive a Kenworth. I started out in a Volvo We've drove Max. I've drove Peterbilts before, and drove KWs. That's the ones that I have driven over the years. So started out in a Volvo. Freightliners. I did drive Freightliners too for a while.
Yeah. Well, let me commend Big G, because I know that they keep y'all in some really nice equipment. You want to talk about some of the trucks that you've driven over the years that you started out in?
All right. The first truck I started out in was the Volvo, and I tell you what, it's a really comfortable ride. And the turn ratio on them was just unbelievable. Now, a lot of these companies have kind of mimicked that, of being the turn ratio. I mean, some of the other KWs, when we first got them, it would seem like it would take a city block or a country mile or whatever would to turn them things around. But now, man, these KWs, you can put them in about any spot that you need to put them in.
Right.
Yeah, they come a long ways with them.
Yeah,
and,
they have.
tell me, was you one of those guys whenever they transition from manual to automatics, you like, I don't really want to go to an automatic? Was you one of those guys?
Absolutely not. We've been in automatics now for I guess I've been in the last 7-8 years. I've been in an automatic, and shifting gears is fun. The first few years you've done it, but especially when you get in traffic, the automatics are just very nice. I'm glad that I have it on my license that I could do both. A lot of times now, a lot of people has that restriction if they can only drive automatics, but I can drive both, and so it leaves options open. If it's because we do get manuals in as well, still at Big G Express, so we keep a certain amount of manuals on hand, because you do have some drivers, like you said, just don't want to give up going to an automatic. But I love it, especially during traffic. You just sitting there, just cruising along, easing 5 or 10 miles an hour. You're not having to keep shifting gears up and down. I love it.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Steve.
Exactly. Do you? I know you're trying to eat healthy and everything, but do you cook in your truck? Do you got a skillet, stuff like that, or?
I got a toaster oven. I like making toast bread with my cheese on it for breakfast. Sometimes I get the zero carb healthy bread is something it's called. I don't know, $6 a loaf of bread, I believe is what it is.
Oh, ain't that crazy? That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I got a little toaster oven. I toast my bread and melt my cheese on it. So, but as far as cooking, a lot of times on Sunday afternoon, I go in there and I cook some grilled chicken or like some of the brocks that I eat, just eat meat with like my zero carb wraps. Right. Or my zero carb bread that I put here in the truck, and then I just warm it up during the week. My wife, she works at a company where they make all kind of different salads, different kind of foods and stuff.
Right.
And so she gets to bring home salads. So I bring about 3 or 4 of those salads out on the road with me as well. So I get my greens in along with my meat as well. So
yeah, that's a good benefit right there for sure.
Oh, absolutely. She spoils me on that kind of stuff.
Well, it's 8:54. We start winding the show down around this time. I tell you, man, that hour went by fast, didn't it?
It did. It sure did. I'm like, man, it seemed like we just got started.
Oh yeah.
I've got one last question.
Yeah. Go ahead, Steve.
What are you planning on doing after trucking?
After trucking, I tell my wife all the time, because I tell people right now, I'm living life to the fullest. I don't know what's going to happen 5 years, 8 years down the road when you get ready to retire. A lot of people are like, well, I'm going to wait and do it when I retire. Well, you know what? I'm doing it now. I take the time to do it now, go on the cruises. Me and my wife, we take trips. We're getting ready to go to Ohio, watch the fireworks show over Labor Day weekend. I'm getting ready to go do the call on Washington with the TCA for winning the National Driver of the Year. That's part of that as well. And so we do stuff all the time. Every weekend it seems like we're doing something. We're having family over, we're having friends over, or now I bought the boat. We go out fishing. I like to fish. I fish tournaments at my church. I hadn't done too good this year on fishing. The tournament's that great this year, but you know what? It's not about having what you catch or what you do. It's the memories that you have. Me and my brother-in-law, we have a great time fishing. We talk smack with one another, and at the end of the day, it's about building a relationship with your family and just enjoying your day, enjoying your life.
Okay.
Yep.
Because they always ask that question, you know, what how much longer are you going to be driving a truck? What are you going to do when you get out of a truck? You know, you hear a lot of truck drivers retire 6 months, a year, maybe a year and a half. They're back in the truck. They got to go. They just got to go. That's what we do. It's our nature, you know.
Yeah.
And then
and you say that when I used to be over the road, going all the time over the road, my wife used to always tell me, she said, "Oh, I could tell you getting ready to take off." She said, "You are in trucker mode," because it's a mindset. You got to get yourself ready to go out there, because you know as well as I do the things that we see out here on the road of cars cutting us off, getting mad at us because we held them up too long in one of the lanes, and then they pass you and slam their brakes on, and you're having to make rational decisions at a split second, knowing that we can't stop like they can, you know. And so we see so many different things. You know, about 6.5, 7 years ago, I had a drunk driver. 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesday, tried to drive underneath my trailer. You know, and so got there, and you know, and so it was unbelievable. You know, you never know what you're going to come across. And you know, I didn't even feel that I hit her. But as we scan our mirrors, like we're supposed to scan them, when I come back and looked in my left mirror, that's when the lady tried to drive underneath my trailer, and I slung her up against the wall in the middle, and I got stopped and ran back there to check on her, and she was fine. Had a broke nose and a couple of broke ribs, I think is what they told me she had. But come to find out, I didn't know it at the time, but come to find out, once she got to the hospital, they found out she was intoxicated. So.
Oh, wow. Wow.
You know, so you never know what you're going to come across. So always be prepared. Like I tell people, each and every time I sit behind this wheel, I look at people around me as they're my family. And it's my job to make sure they get home to their family. But you know what? It's their job as well to make sure I get home to my family as well. You know, so if we would all put safety first and just take a little bit of time, driving 80 miles an hour, you're not going to get there any faster as if you would have drove 70 miles an hour. So everybody can just slow down just a little bit, you know, have a little bit of courtesy toward one another, and man, your life would be so much easier.
That's right. That's right. Well, I hear the music coming on, so we got to wind the show down. This is the post-trip part of the show, and we always end with a word of encouragement and safety there. So, Tim, what would you say to that up and young and coming driver that wants to get into the industry? You know, don't judge it over the first 6 months or the first week or even the first year. Hang in there, learn the industry. You can make great money at it. It's provided for my family for years. I live a decent life, nice life. I get to do a lot of different things, and it's because you find a company that you truly love, and you find a company that you're going to grow with, and you stick with them. Right. All righty. Well, we thank you for coming on the show tonight, Steve. What's your word? And we'll close out. I'll see you guys on the other side after we go off the air.
Sounds good. Everybody, appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you listening to us. Tim, thanks a lot. Like I always say, remember, folks, most important trip is the trip home. Absolutely. Amen. Yeah, thank you. And it's a good show tonight, and I want to encourage everybody, whenever you start driving tomorrow and getting on your destination, and whether you're going to work or going on vacation, you know, the holiday weekend's coming up. Next weekend, we got to be vigilant, and we got to always look out for those who aren't looking out for themselves. It's been a good night here on Truckers Voices, and we'll see you right here next time on Truckers Voices. We'll see you.
Welcome to Truckers Voices Podcast.